folks, thanks for tuning in. Hope y'all doing okay today. So, I didn't get to record anything about this yesterday. I had a rather busy day with family and some early morning running that I had to do. So I didn't get to record any of my thoughts on this, and also the decision came down later in the day. But turns out that Roe v. Wade has been overturned. Now, what's most irritating to me is that a lot of people don't understand what Roe did for abortion. It did not enshrine it as a federal right or anything. It simply limited states' ability to put restrictions on abortions. So, with Roe being overturned, there will still be abortions happening. I will say that you're going to get more abortions happening in blue states as a rule, but it didn't end abortion. It's irritating to me that people are playing that up that way. Now, being completely honest, I think that it's a good thing overall, but I understand why there are people that do take issue with it. So, start to finish, here's my take. If a woman gets pregnant due to rape or incest, or there is a life-threatening condition due to pregnancy, as an example, my wife has some minor heart issues that turned into major heart issues when she was pregnant because she was pumping blood for two. So the doctor recommended it would be a good idea if she didn't get pregnant again, so she got her tubes tied after delivering our youngest. If anything were to happen and the doctor said, hey, this will kill you, begrudgingly, I'd be okay with that. Rape and incest, begrudgingly, I'm okay with that. As far as one of the more recent takes on the Republican pro-life stance is that we're not pro-life, we're pro-birth because we don't help take care of people. There's tons of community outreach everywhere from nonprofit organizations. Just because I don't want the federal government to redistribute taxpayer dollars doesn't mean that I don't think that people deserve to be helped or require to be helped. I've seen more good, personally, come from private charity than I've seen from public charity. Moving on. I think that adoption should be easier in a lot of circumstances. I don't think that it should be a huge burden. I've been debating a few things on Facebook with people that are posting stuff about this most recent Supreme Court ruling, and I think that adoption should be easily accessible for both the mother and prospective adoptive parents. I don't think that it should be something that's that has a huge financial cost to do for the adoptive parents. I think that it should be something where it's very easy to verify that if these parents adopt this kid's going to a home where the kid will be loved and taken care of and so on, but I don't think that it should be a massive financial burden for parents to adopt. I also think that if a pregnant woman is in a situation where she doesn't need help, where she needs a lot of help because she cannot afford prenatal care and whatnot, I know that there are tons of parents that, or adoptive parents, that would be more than happy, due to their financial situation, to help out with some of the prenatal care. One of the podcasters that I listen targets, and this was hugely expensive for them, but they were in a financial situation where it was something they could afford to do. I think that there's a lot of things broken in the system, and whether or not Roe v. Wade is overturned or not, that doesn't change the fact that the foster care system, CPS, and a lot of things are just broken, period. So one of the things I posted on Facebook yesterday, because Thursday and Friday there were back-to-back Supreme Court decisions handed down. One of them was a lot of places that may issue gun permit laws, their laws got struck down at the Supreme Court level. So as an example, in New York City, in New York State, you can apply for a firearms permit. You can pass the background check, the proficiency requirements, file every piece of legal paperwork at your cost. And in New York City, it costs somewhere around $300 to $500 to apply for a concealed carry permit. You have to show why you have reason to have a permit, like your life's in danger. John Stossel did a whole thing on this, getting a gun permit in New York City, something like that. Showed that he had death threats and things of that nature. And the permit got kicked back because New York is a May issue state, or city. So you can meet all the requirements, go through all the legal red tape, and at the end of that, once they have your money in hand, they may or might issue you a gun carry permit. My state, Kentucky, is a shall issue state, meaning that I go through the red tape and pay the money and take the course and prove that I'm proficient with my firearms, and once all that is done, the state is required to issue my concealed carry permit. So, just something interesting to think about right there. And then, right afterward, they handed down the decision on Roe. So, here was a post that I put on my private social media yesterday, and my opinion is, I think that in states where the gun laws are going to end up changing drastically due to the Supreme Court decision on the Second Amendment, I think that you're going to see violent crime taper off, specifically home invasions, burglaries, robberies, things of that nature. I think you're going to see those taper off quite a bit as those permits become more and more prevalent. And then I also think that over this weekend you're going to see a lot of pregnancy centers burn. Now, I don't mean abortion clinics. I mean, there's a nonprofit that our church works with, and they will help pregnant women in almost any circumstance that's having financial difficulty. They will give them diapers, food supplies, bottles, clothing, cribs, playpens, strollers. You can almost name it and they'll give it to you. Just give it to you. Now, they do want to help you with some counseling and maybe some other parenting lessons, but you can get all sorts of stuff from this place for free. They just hand it to you. My wife, before her and I met, she was in a tight spot when she was pregnant. She went to them and they helped her with some of the necessities of bringing a new life into the world. And then after my wife and I met, after my wife and I got married, we were so broke we couldn't afford to pay attention. And same thing, she went to this nonprofit charity, and she was able to get a lot of what we needed for our baby several months before the baby was born. And then once I actually got a decent job and started working, I felt bad taking money from her, so we kind of bowed out and took what we had and moved on. Didn't take anything more from them, and actually we've ended up giving back to this charity on multiple occasions in the form of either money or supplies that they ask for. And they don't just, you know, hey, here's 3 months of everything, good luck. No, they'll help you for a year and a half, almost to the point where you're ready to potty train, because that's when kids are the absolute most expensive. Because it's diapers, wet wipes, ointments, formula, and everything else. They'll help with everything. So, I've given back to that charity quite a bit, and I think you're going to see places like that burn this weekend, if not in the following weeks. That's my predictions. That's what I got on this one today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch y'all next time.